All right, what up, yo? I'm talking about this because it's kind of a spin-off conversation I was overhearing. And it's something that I haven't really touched on, but I've seen somebody touch on this before. So I think last year, actually, there was it was last year. There was somebody, I believe they were on Joe Rogan, and they were talking about the T-Rex. And they were saying how, they don't believe that, or it's a rumor going around. A lot of people have said this, that they don't believe that the hands of the T-Rex was that damn small. They believe it's missing something. There's parts of the T-Rex missing. The conversation that I overheard the other day was actually an Aboriginal conversation, and they were just saying how they were talking about how they were saying something about dinosaurs. They were talking about dinosaurs, and then it led into the dragon conversation. And I believe they touched on this too, but not fully, like the Joe Rogan episode did. They were basically having a conversation about those dire wolves. So anyway, let's listen to something. Let's listen to something real fast, and then I'm show you.
Oh, no. Not now. What single-cell organism did you evolve from?
Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Lizard King. Thank you very much.
So he says, and it's from the old Mario movie. He's like, what single cell organism did you develop from? And he's like, the Tyrannosaurus, the T-Rex, the Lizard King. Okay. The lizard is, the Komodo dragon and all that stuff. Then I thought about it. I'm like, maybe this information was technically already shared with us, but here's my thing. I thought humans weren't around when dinosaurs are around. I thought that until I thought of something else. And that's the see it differently. People know this sign. Some people say it's evil. Some people say all that and that. But if you look at the sign in the esoteric masonry way, once it gets to, the small hats and all these other type people. Because originally it doesn't have any wings. But it's not that it has wings. The original one is the snake biting its own tail. Okay, the Masonic one, though, is a snake biting the tail of a dragon. But why? The Lizard King, you know what I'm saying? Okay, the T-Rex is coming from the reptile family. Why on the bottom is it the serpent? And then on top, it's a serpent with wings and a crown. But they're related to this T-Rex. It's supposed to be this family, of reptiles, the reptile family. Of course, we're saying humans weren't old enough to be there at that time. All right. But what I'm saying is this an advancement? Like, if human beings are looking at the serpent growing wings and then they put a crown on it, you know what I'm saying? Let's go back. If human beings are making symbolism of a serpent on the bottom, okay, but then on the top, it's pretty much a serpent, but it's not because you can tell by the skin. The snake has the cuts in it. Okay, the skin up here, it's representing a dragon. In the movie, he's saying, I was developed from the T-Rex, you know what I'm saying? The Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Lizard King. When the air was different. And is it possible that maybe the ancients did catch one? Maybe they caught one, you know, or maybe they did catch some, but it's like, well, there's not enough information on it. Fair enough. But for them to come up with this, for them to have this a long time ago, and then for the Joe Rogan episode to take place, and the guy's like, the T-Rex arms, it's like they're missing parts, bro. This is not their arms. There's no way that this dinosaur is lopsided, for one. And then there's no way in hell that this big, like we're calling it the king of the dinosaurs, would have these little ass hands. Something doesn't make any sense. So they were saying it's possible that we're missing bones, you know, and that these were actual wings. I can credit this only because we've never found any dinosaur bones. Bones don't last that long. Bones disintegrate after 100 years. The dinosaurs are supposed to be trillions of years ago. You know, this is supposed to be Cretaceous times. They're way, way primitive. Could they be hiding fossils? Did they find perfect intact fossils of the T-Rex? Can we say that? And if they did, are they showing them? Were there dinosaurs? I mean, were there dragons? I don't know about dinosaurs. That's a made-up word, but it's like, were dragons alive? Were they real? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't have an answer for that. What I can say is from that movie, just saying that like little, you know, statement, like, oh, I'm the Lizard King. And knowing that the T-Rex comes from the reptilian family, I know that. And then knowing about Komodo dragons, but that's what we call them. We call them Komodo dragons. But we're talking about, you know, them today. I mean, how was a Komodo dragon 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago? And I can see people already. They're like, well, the Egyptians didn't write about that. Well, who said that they were over there? The American Indians didn't write about that. Well, who said they was over there? The information who we're getting it from is a bunch of mystics. And it's like these people were the enlightened ones and they went all over the earth. So it's like there's no telling where they got this information from. There's no telling where they seen this at originally. You know, I know the old Orobus around Haru and all that different stuff, but it wasn't this one. It wasn't this Masonic Orobus. You know, usually the Orobus is just a snake biting its own tail. But this mystic one is the snake biting the tail of a dragon. We can already see higher self and lower self. We already understand. That's why it has wings and it's on top. Okay, it flows above. And the serpent and the mythos, you know, he was cut to lay on his belly and slither around. So we understand, you know, higher self, lower self. Okay, we get that analogy. But there's a crown on its head and it has wings. And if the original Orobus is supposed to be biting itself, it's supposed to be a continuing, you know, type of symbol. This would be a transitional symbol. And if the serpent transitions into a dragon, where did they get that from? You know, that's what I'm saying. And then why thousands of years later do you have people having discussions about missing T-Rex body parts? They're like, there's no way in hell that this dinosaur had these small ass hands. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, this is the king of all dinosaurs. This is the most feared dinosaur, supposedly. And it has these baby midget hands. It's like, it just seems weird. It just looks incomplete. So you guys tell me how you guys feel about it. I don't know. I really don't. It was just an interesting conversation, and I remembered this picture, and I was like, I gotta find this picture, because people saying that the T-Rex is a dragon is something I've heard before. So I have a visual symbol from a long time ago, kind of indicating, the reptiles were the dragon. Then I have some Aboriginal brothers. I overhear them having this conversation. Then I remember a Joe Rogan interview with another guy talking about this same thing. They'll never be able to bring it back or anything like that because we don't have any dinosaur bones. Like the whole Dreyer Wolf thing, at least they had blood. They actually had bones. They would never be able to do this because it's just fossils. But what do you guys think? You guys let me know what you guys think. Was the T-Rex originally a dragon? And we're calling them dinosaurs because they made up names and Thoris and everything's Saurus, Brontosaurus, Tyrannosaurus. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. They even got a book called The Thoris. That's how you say it? I think that's how you say it. I don't know. You guys let me know. Do you guys believe that T-Rex was a dragon and they're missing, the wings? Or do you think that, none of it's real and, it just is what it is? Y'all let me know. Goes.